I don't know if you have data in that phone, but yes. I had the same problem 3, 4 years ago. I will talk about it later. And then I changed my methodology completely. But wait for it. I will share it later. So yeah, it's part of actually doing research. Fortunately and not unfortunately, that's how it is. So yeah, I was sharing a little bit about myself when I started. I was saying I was working in a rapid prototyping lab, and then it wasn't normal operation. It was making everything new. Like AI is all new right now, and if you want to make an app, it's all new right now. Everything you're doing is, we don't know if it's gonna work. You think it's gonna work, but we don't know it's gonna work. And then whatever I learned which I have a certificate, Six Sigma did not work for me. So what happened? So I'm gonna start this here. I'm sorry, I have to add. I'm a PhD candidate. In no way I'm a professor. So I'm not a professor. I'm a PhD candidate. And the only way I'm dressing this way is because I have to go to work after here. So I have a second presentation at work. That's why. Otherwise, I will come with the jeans and t-shirt. That's my preferred dressing. So that being said, I hope this is a discussion. And then so the first part is generally speaking about thesis, and then maybe I can share about what I did as a research and tell you the wrong things I did. So the agenda is simply we're gonna ask you guys, and I will tell you what I think it's a strong thesis. You don't have to agree. Please consult with your advisors. They are the one who knows. They are the professors. I do so as well every time I'm gonna make a move concerning research. They know, they have experience. And in general, we talk about structure. You can think and reflect about the structure. Again, I'm not saying anything in here that you don't know, and then some pitfalls and some open discussions before I share my project and my journey. So that being said, so I'm going to ask you this. What do you think a strong thesis is? Or maybe so I don't make it hard for you. I have a definition that's like academic definitions. I can read it for you and you tell me what you guys think.
Right. I think strong thesis is you have a problem and you can have the answer for that problem. It's
Absolutely.
Like defining something for that problem.
Yeah.
And also you need to base on the academic or like theory. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Anyone else have something to add?
I think that strong thesis like maybe sometimes breaking like the common sense or like common theory. So you have a new way of thinking from the.
Yeah, absolutely. It's adding to the scholarly inquiry. Absolutely, yeah. No, that's one good thing as well. What do you guys think?
I think strong thesis have a second point. First is the thesis based on existing existing research. Yeah. So without research papers and without framework. And the second point is that is it has a research gap with another research.
So you're looking for research gap, based in theory. Absolutely. You guys are all saying the right things. Anyone would like to add? Or you good? You can say I'm good. You don't have anything to add.
Yeah, I think strong thesis might have a good literature review part because what you learn about previous research and what you want to apply for research, and that make the academic contribution.
This is a foundation for it, and you're absolutely right about it too, because you have to know what happened before, because before you know what is the gap and where are we going and what are we going to do. Okay. Now that's all good. There's a couple of things. So of course it's an academic piece of paper, right? So it has to be research founded. It has to be back in research. You have to find the literature review. You have to find the research gap going to the future. So you have to know everything that happened before, that is agreed upon in peer review. You have to make sure your data is correct. It's not just because people said it or publish it. It doesn't have to be true. I found this the hard way. And then you have to understand the methodology and the theory, and then you have to go to it to find the gap, and then work on that gap. All of this is correct. There's one more thing for master thesis, which is different from PhD thesis. We're talking about master thesis in here. One of it is that the master's thesis is to show your ability in identifying the research problem. So you have to do it yourself, or show that you can do it yourself. You have to show that you can apply the methodology yourself. It doesn't mean you have to know how to do it before, but throughout the research project, when now you're defining the methodology, you have to show that I understand it, I know how to do it, and I can manipulate it in the future. I know what my methodology can do, but I also know what my methodology lacks, and I know what's the problem in it. And you have to be able to see this objectively. It's like, my methodology is good for this problem, for this situation, but not necessarily for other situations. If the situation changed, maybe we need a different methodology. And it's fine, it's okay. This is part of it. Of course, you have to, at the end, you have to give you have to be able to give you have to have an academic disclosure, you have to have a paper that you have to put forward as a thesis as your first paper. So in many ways, because you guys are doing an MBA, you have an extra added layer, is that it has to be a real work. You can work on theory, but in MBA, naturally, we're not really doing theory. You're not doing differential equations or programming. You're actually, and I listen to most of you, you guys are doing real problems in real life. So there's a real problem, and then you have the literature, knowing everything before, and then the data. Do we have enough data? And if you don't have enough data, it's fine. You don't have to have enough data. If you're working on a project that hasn't been done before, how can you have a data? There's no information. As a matter of fact, you might not even have a literature review on it. Your literature review might be just so minimal that there's nothing on it. Now the question comes is that, so if you have something quite new, no information or not enough information in the past, we don't have enough data on it, why are you working on it? Why do you think this is important? How is this going to help in the future? So, in that question, what do you think the situation is? If I don't have enough, I have a real world problem. There is something right now we are doing. It's important. People are talking about it. In my case, I was doing 3D printing and prototyping. But now I hear a lot of AI. So AI is a new thing. Well, is there enough literature on it? I don't know. I'm not an expert in AI. Maybe there isn't. Maybe there is. So it's a real world problem. It's a new thing. It's a novelty. We don't know. I don't know if there's literature on it. I don't know if I don't have data. You might have data. So why are you doing this research on it? So this is one thing you have to think about. And it simply can be because we don't have any information on it, I'm adding to the information. That's your contribution. What's wrong with that? We know nothing about it. Let's learn about it. That's one way to do it. So think about if these three gathering in the middle. So of course it has to be manageable. So don't make something really big, really huge. You cannot finish it in 6 to 12 months. One of the main goals is for you to graduate and finish. Unless you want to go for PhD, 6 to 12 that's how much you need. You have to have a project that you can do and finish and go out of it. It's one piece of paper. It's easy. It shouldn't be that much. And then you have to know the theory. So literature, we're gonna talk about this in a while. How do you understand the literature? Before I go there, can I ask what's your background? So for example, I have a bit of a weird background. I have my undergraduate in econometrics, and then I did my master in industrial engineering, and I mixed that, and now I'm doing PhD. But how about you guys? I know you're doing MBA. It's a very precious program. It's one of the most wonderful programs I can think of. What's your undergraduate?
My background is in computer science.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah, I've been working as a software engineer.
okay, wow, okay. Technically
My
capable.
current major is international business economics.
International business economics? Okay, okay, and this is your undergrad?
Yeah, and
I didn't hear your research, what are you working on?
actually my research topic is like the social the slow capital mechanisms in small and medium enterprise. They can like rethink between corporate social responsibility with business outcomes.
Hmm.
Yes.
So this is, what do you call that, the PEV? It's a new term for it, is it public, environmental responsibility, something like that?
Yes, it's like related to CSR with business outcome.
Okay, 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 operational, okay, okay. And you're working on medium to small companies?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, great.
My background is also international business, but I used to study MBA as my college. Undergraduate, yes.
Great.
I also study MBA now.
Oh, so you have 2 MBAs?
No, my MBA is like business and administration in college only, not M.
Okay.
No master, yes.
Okay, so a master MBA, kana?
No. Like now I'm studying MBA, but before it's just BA.
Okay, sorry, yes,
Yes,
I got
yes.
you, okay.
Yeah.
I for my undergraduate is about something like public policy. Aim to work in work for government, and currently right now Vietnam profit is 100% state-owned company, and it is same. And but after working in industry, I think I'm like a busy knowledge. That is the reason I apply for MBA.
I am school psychology bachelor, and now working in the wedding industry.
Yeah, you said that a while ago.
Yeah.
You got into it by yourself, or you were like, you joined a company? Are you, I'm asking, are you an entrepreneur, or are you part of the other
I am
way?
an entrepreneur.
So you're studying by yourself? I did that myself as well. No, it's actually it's a great pursuit, I think so, entrepreneurship.
I also study international business for my diploma, and I worked in some manufacturing companies before, and I want to study MBA.
Okay, thank you.
I study Japanese linguistics
Oh.
in university,
Oh,
and after graduate, I work in a company. So that's the reason why my thesis related to my work experience.
oh, so you understand Japanese culture in many ways. I mean, all of you do, but yeah. And then you can play a bridge as well. It's also very valuable. This is part of the program. Very good. Okay, good. Thank you, everyone. So, this is so we can kind of like gather the discussion in a certain direction. As I said, I don't have. It's not a book. I'm not teaching theory. We're having a discussion. I'm sharing my experience, and then you share your experience too. So as I said, for me, is a good thesis have to be well manageable. You have to finish it. Don't make something really big. Make something you know you can finish. Make sure you can finish it. And then you have to know the theory, whatever you do, whatever you have in the background, whatever you plan to use, and of course you bring in from the real world. One of the points is that you have to show that you can use the methodology, not only apply it, but also manipulate it in the future. Right. So I give you a kid's example. I say, well, I'll give you 3 circles. And then can you make a snowman? And then it's just a good example. And I say, okay, 3 circles, how do you make a snowman? I say, okay, you put a circle here, a circle here, a circle here, snowman. All right? And then this is, now you know how to do it. 3 circles upon each other, now you know how to do it. But you want to go beyond that. You said, okay, but I can make a snowman maybe with 2 circles and 1 triangle, and then you add a triangle on top. I don't know. Just an example, you have to manipulate it. You have to be able to know what you can do and remove it and change it. This is the power of it. So, and it's almost always, if you have a thesis in successfully, this is a step for you to decide, do I want to only go to the industry? Or maybe I want to go to more, PhD later. Or in my case, I did a thesis and I said, I want to go work. And I went working, I worked for the government, and I worked a little bit for the UN, and I got more information, and then I started my own business. So that's why I value that. And then I decided, okay, now I think I understand, now I want to do a PhD. There is no right and wrong, any path is a good path. So you decide what you do with this. So, let's go back to the thesis. Now you have the proposal, which you already did, and then you have to define the problem, which I hope you guys have worked it with your professor already. And here I put it linear, but it doesn't have to be that much linear. It can be back and forth, and there's multiple iteration. So you have a proposal, you have a research problem, you did the literature review. I think this is where the most work happened. These are easy, in my opinion. And maybe for the first time this is not easy, but then the next time and the third time you only become better, and this is when you'll be able to change it later on. But the most difficult part is here. That's my opinion. This is where instead of moving to methodology, like my journey have been, I did not share that. I actually started my PhD at Padova University in Italy. Padova University is a top 200 university. They have partnership with MIT's big brains and very powerful people. I did it for 2 years and then I quit.
What was PhD?
I quit. I said, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not convinced because I started here. I went to the methodology. I had the first paper, and then I was like, I know what's the problem with this methodology. If I apply it to my data, it's wrong. And I said that to my advisor. We had a fight. We did not agree. And I said, okay, thank you, I'm out. I don't want to do it. I'm that kind of person. But then I found this advisor here in this school. And I learned about it, and then went for 6 months just talking before I enrolled in the PhD. And then I learned about the methodology. Because I had a lot of work in here, I knew exactly what was the issue. I knew exactly what was the problem. And I knew the methodology did not work. I knew it did not work. I knew what's the problem with it. And if I publish, I can publish. It's not what I wanted to do. A lot of people just, I just want to publish and finish from it. It's valid. You can choose that as well. That was not my choice. So I came back in here, and now I took this professor, and he's my advisor now, this professor methodology, I tweaked it, I changed it, and now we have something. So now I'm ready to move here, which I've already done this one, and now we're here, and now we're publishing. So it didn't move this way. It moves 1, 2, cut, and then we went back here, and then now we move back. So I'm not saying do this. I'm doing a PhD in master. It's much more easier. You have somebody who tells you what to do and tell them about their methodology, and they're already telling you how to apply it properly. And so that I did not have that problem in the master, because in master I did my master. It was an evaluation between Six Sigma methodologies and the other methodologies, which is real option. I knew what we're doing. The professor already know the answer. You're just showing that you can apply it, okay, to the real world. And then what's the value you're doing there as a thesis? You're bringing data from the outside world and applying it to a methodology that you think you want to learn it and enjoy it, and you're publishing. That means you are adding to the literature. That's your contribution. That means you are showing one more application that this methodology was able to solve. That's your contribution right now. I think that was my master. But then when I moved to PhD, I was like, okay, it doesn't work that way. So here is where most of the work. Now, I think most of you are here right now, right? You justify the method, right? You're justifying. It's like, this is my methodology. Maybe I'm going to combine two to solve it. Maybe I'm gonna do this one, maybe I'm gonna apply this one. Maybe you are here right now, maybe you're collecting data. And I don't know, maybe you'll find, I don't think they will have that one, but in PhD we have this. We collect the data, we come in here, and we find, it's not what we thought it's gonna be. It's wrong information. And it's okay, we can decide to publish and say, based on the data collected and the methodology, this model doesn't work in that case. So we added also to that literature, and we say, though my research did not make any progress to show that this worked, it actually showed that this doesn't work. So if somebody in the future decide to do it again, please know, don't do it. It's not gonna work. That could be also an adding to the whole literature. You can do that. So we're here. You're not there yet. You're not analyzing. You're collecting data and methodology. So if this is the most important part, literature review, problem identification, research questions, and framework, literature review. How are you connected? How did you do your literature review? How did you tell me? What did you do?
Checking all the previous research.
Did you go to the internet and which search engine did you look at?
Google Scholar,
Google Scholar, the most useful one, yeah.
Web of Science.
Yeah, Web of Science,
Consensus.
Consensus,
Research.
yeah.
Research.
ResearchGate, yeah. I use Scopus. Maybe you do have access to Scopus here, do you? Scopus? It's, again, you coordinate this with your advisor and then make sure. Scopus. Just make sure it's a peer-reviewed website, right? Just don't. This is like. Make sure your advisor agree.
Scopus.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Is it free?
And if you're part of the school, yes. So these are academic website, academic database. They are not free to the public. You can generally browse, but to actually use them and research the academic way and do a literature review, you have to be. I think your MBA should actually include that. Scopus is a default system for most universities around the world. Web Science is one of them. Scopus is where you have peer review. This is a reliable source, and I do recommend it. You'll find a lot of people actually mentioned in here. So, let me see. I should have a. You guys have the same access that we do, right? To the research gates, right?
Not really.
Right? No.
Our account is limited more.
But how about, so usually your university should give you a list of what website you can access under the institutional names and allow you to do research.
Yeah.
And then,
Với tài khoản video của mình không làm được gì cả.
Mình có được cái list đấy.
Or,
Không bảo YNU.
in YNU, yes, but like the email for YNU is limited time gap. We will have it 6
Yeah.
months
yeah,
to access.
I mean, that's what you need. That's everything you need. It's good. Then use it, yeah, so.
We don't have 6 months until middle of February. The
So
account
four
will end.
months, more like 4 months to access everything.
Yeah, because they expect that at that time we
That's-
should
that's how long-
finalize everything.
That's how long you need for a literature review, but you need to apply yourself. You need to just say, this is a period for literature review. Now, you don't have to necessarily do that as an MBA. I have to do this as a PhD. I have to spend a lot of time on literature review before I move forward. But as an MBA, your advisor already know. They're already helping you because they know where things stand. But yeah, that's mine here. I have access to, so see, most probably you do have access to something. And do it. And then there's a way when you do that, okay, before you go this, I advise you to learn how to do literature review. But here, I'm gonna make your life easier. So when we do literature review, we follow a pyramid. We have keywords, right? You guys identified your keywords?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're good on that, right? You go there, you put your keywords, and then you identify them. Then you filter them, because you gotta filter them by language, and you gotta filter them by time. So are you actually, now you're doing AI. There's no AI in 1999, right? And then if you're actually doing research concerning a topic that that is a recent topic, or this is more relevant right now, there's no point of you doing research or pull up references from 2000 maybe. So my research was 10 years bounded. From this year, 10 years back, everything before that is outdated data for me. It might not be outdated data for you, but for me, for my research, it was outdated data. I don't need it. I'm working in a new environment. I don't need the old data. And you might be like, no, this is something relevant in the past and we just need to make it better. Then you do need your old data.
Yeah.
Right? Now, one thing for sure, when you go on these websites, make sure you check the peer-reviewed paper. Peer-reviewed paper. Yeah. Not all papers are accepted. Not all papers are good research. Peer-reviewed paper are the strong papers that everybody say these are good papers. We as researchers certify that this is a good paper. Make sure you check the peer-reviewed paper. Do not pull any data that does not have, do not pull any research paper that have peer-reviewed paper. No. As a PhD, you're expected to read the papers, and we read around, for paper published, we read around 132. You don't have to worry about this now. You don't have to do this. I have a shortcut for you. You like shortcuts? Good. You like shortcuts? Everybody like shortcuts. My shortcuts are these. These are kind of peer-reviewed papers. If you find something about them, it's good. So there are papers or literature review that already sums up everything that happens in the past for you. This is what the paper is about. If you say, I want to learn about if computer improved productivity at work, but I'm not going to go read papers about this. I'm not going to spend 3-4 months reading papers about it. I want to see if there is a systematic review. A systematic review, that means somebody went ahead and reviewed all the papers and summarized it for you. So now you can only read the summary, and you can choose what paper to choose or not. So I recommend you check systematic review first. I also recommend using the bibliometric. This is a more intensive one. So these are 4 kind of reviews. If you check them first before you actually go on literature review. Don't spend too much on literature review. As an MBA, as a thesis, you're not expected to do that. That's your starting point. One of these. I like to use systematic review and bibliometric. I still do this as a PhD. I check them out first. This is the first thing. What is the latest systematic review? And then I read it. And then if it's too late, I start looking for the new ones. And if it's not too late, I said, this is what I'm gonna use. That's it. I'm not gonna go and read every single paper and spend 3-4 days understanding the methodology. And I'm not gonna do it. I don't have time. I'm working.
How to check the systematic review?
I can do it now. Here, what's your keywords?
AI innovations and last mile delivery, e-commerce.
Let me sign in. Site. So your keywords are innovation?
Yeah, AI innovation, e-commerce, last mile delivery.
Call this
có bị mỏi không? Không bị chóng đi.
Okay, let's do this. So if I want to go to subject area, and you're doing business?
Yes.
Let's go business. Business, and you can check all of them if you want to. Business general, and we click apply. And we want the journals because we want this to be peer reviewed. And
Mọi người có phải là cái scope bớt rồi.
where is the
No.
index?
Cái tài khoản
Của mình.
cái tài khoản của mình còn không có cả mail luôn, mà chỉ là Microsoft 365 thôi.
Sorry, I don't see
Không có tác
here.
dụng như một mail đâu.
Chứ là một cái như thế.
Bảo gì từ đầu nó có thằng thử cái YNU của mình nó không xịn như của anh đâu, của thầy này.
Actually, we don't think that we can go on go first.
Because our YNU account is so limited.
Okay, so Web Science, Google Scholar.
Yeah.
Google Scholar?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't use Google Scholar as much, but here, let's try it. Google Scholar, AI, innovation, what else?
E-commercial.
E-commercial,
Last mile delivery.
what is else?
Last mile.
Last mile, oh,
Last mile.
oh wow, you're working on last mile, okay, last mile, yeah. Yeah, so your logistics, you're working, okay, that's a hot topic right now, isn't it?
Yes.
I think so. Okay, so you go here and then you have, I'm not really familiar with this, but you can customize the range. And then since you're working on last mile is something that's, and I would say 2026. I would never use mine. 2026.
Last mile.
And then what year is? Last mile is that after they do a delivery, like Amazon, they do like to your door after they get to your destination. When do you think last mile started? 2000. Now we're 2025. If you want to go back 10 years,
Yeah.
let's go back. Yeah. 15 and 16. You don't want to review old dates. Let's do systematic review. So probably there isn't any. Because again, AI.
Yeah, very new.
So here's a framework of last mile logistics systematic review. But that's only for last mile.
Does someone do it before?
Well, so for example, there's innovation solution to increase last mile delivery. This is a literature review. So again, this is someone who already studied everything before, but this is not related to your keywords simply. It's related to one of the keywords. So the systematic review is what you need to see, and this one is in 2019, so it's actually quite old. You need to see, is a systematic review here, 2020, the impact of e-commerce related last mile logistics on cities, systematic review. That probably means that your research needs to be narrowed down more.
Narrow down more?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, follow your advisor, for your advisor advice.
Okay.
So just follow what they tell you. They know better. I don't know your field. I know my field. So systematic review is one thing I recommend. A bibliometric review is the other thing that I recommend. These two are the most like the number one recommendation. Integrative and narrative.
No.
That's number two. I'm sorry I wasn't able to help you as much as you hoped to. Again, it's part of the, it's part of the research being, being new, because AI. So, what mistakes do we do, usually? Yeah, so clear research questions. Well, what's your research questions?
It's usually just simple, like what factor impacting other factor.
Oh, so you're doing an impact. Okay.
Yes, I'm doing impact.
Okay.
Like influencing the decision to adopt chatbot in SME.
Okay.
That's my research question.
You're doing an impact analysis.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. And then since it's applied, you're getting new additional practical data from the real world that is original, and then you're applying that to these conditions.
Yes.
That's your impact analysis. Yeah, that's a solid one. And how about you?
The impact of uncertainty on customer spending.
Yeah, I work on uncertainty, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll tell you about. Yeah, that's what I work on behavioral uncertainty in businesses. So I'll tell you about it. So the impact of uncertainty on customer behavior.
Yes.
Nice. How about you?
My first question is about the social capital, maybe the relationship between the CSR business outcome.
So you're actually seeing the similarities. You're drawing. What do you call this? I have a friend who used to work on this one. That was actually turned out to be a very well paper as well. There is a scientific word. I'm sorry, I don't remember. We have scientific words for things we use in research. So yeah, what was it? Okay, I'm sorry if I remember. I tell you. And you were working in post office. What's your research?
Actually, my research title and my research paper is same. I mean, in general, it's enough for you. So factor influencing and about customer choice for the delivery service. So what factor influence them? And yes, they
Influences as well.
yes.
You're trying to see, but impact and influence are two different things.
Yes.
So impact is something happened, and then we're trying to see how did it affect one piece or two pieces, and then what's the effect on that. So mostly regression analysis, I'm thinking, right? Influences is you're trying to see if you're trying to do a sensitivity analysis. That means if I change something, how much these guys will change. If the prices of whatever, if the prices of Y go up and the temperature goes down for whatever reason, will the behaviors change? And then the impact is different. So yeah, that's also. How about you?
Here's a question.
My research question is, wait a moment. Why is it? Oh, right.
Mine is kind of the same thing. Like what impact or how do AI innovation influence the customer experience in last mile delivery modes?
Influence is a good question. Again, it's the same thing. Influence and impact is not, they're not the same question. This is where things becomes a little annoying in research. And then, but your advisor will probably tell you that as well. So what you're doing is influence is that you're saying, here's the thing. It's not going to make any sense. That let's say I have let's say prices, and then B is traffic, for whatever reason. And then you want to see customer something, whatever. Customer, I don't know what customers are. Customer? No. Customer, your experience is a little bit difficult to assess because it's subjective. But you can do a research on it. It's fine. But you have to define, so when you say experience, the customer experience, that means what?
Do people trust the AI
So trust level.
and satisfied with the answer from AI?
So if the customer experience is about trust, then every time you have an experience, you have to ask the customer, how do you trust that? Are you gonna do it or not, right? So that's what you're doing. So your research is a bit stretched. Okay, you can have preliminary outcome that you can say, based on this, we will continue the research and develop it. So that's also valid if you want to do that. But just keep in mind that, I can say, this cup is 200 millimeter, I know how much this cup is, 200 millimeter. It will always be 200 millimeter. Trust change depending on a lot of factors. But you're doing a good job when you're having different things like influences, right? Now in here I put traffic and prices, but whatever you want to put here, A and B. If I change A and I keep B stable, will this change? And if I keep this stable and change it, and then you start playing with these, that's what you're doing, right? You're doing,
Influence.
yeah, up and down and stable, up and down and stable,
Or impact.
and all the combinations, and so basically the customer here have to be willing to collaborate with you to test everything.
Yes.
Okay, and the customer has to have some traits that are a little bit the same. So let's say we're testing customer who are, for example, families, young families, or businessmen, or female customer, or young teenage customer. So these traits, you kind of, this have to be stable. That's what you're doing. Kind of. Being confused is part of the research, don't worry. I've been confused for 2 years before I got something. But no, in an MBA you won't be confused for too long. So don't worry about it. Your advisor will help you very well. I'm sorry, I was
Yeah.
asking you.
So I have two big research questions, I believe. The first one is, how do you perceive social norms, personal traits, and financial literacy influence the young couples plan financial commitment for their wedding? And the second question is that, what is the relationship between all those three elements?
It's close to my research though.
Yeah. So.
It's close to what I do as research.
Oh.
Yeah. These are two actually very close. The impact and influences are a different field. I predict that the impact analysis will be done on time and efficiently. So you'll have a paper. The influence will be done next, and you guys probably will finish the last. I'm just saying, don't worry. I'm just talking. This is not academic saying, because uncertainty is information we don't have, right? But then we have enough method to actually get these done. So the outcome in uncertainty is, for me, more interesting because it's something we don't know. It's good to see about it. How about you?
My thesis is about how IT employees, professional in Vietnam company can cope with AI anxiety. So my first question is the same with thesis title, that how IT